All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, and we are live. I'm welcome to an episode of the Pastrami Nation podcast. I'm Kevin, and joining me today is Elijah. How you doing today, sir?
I am doing very good. Took my first math test and I'm pretty sure I got an A on it.
Good. Good job. I
Congrats.
hope you got an A on it. And of course, co-founder of Pastrami Nation, Mr. Jason Smith. How you doing today, sir?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Hanging in there, doing pretty good. And of course, Godfather of Toys, Christian, and he's here to show off some things.
Something.
And I'm
How
jealous
are you
of him.
guys?
I just seen the
Good. How
box.
are
I was
you?
like, ooh.
Good. Speaking of whatever we're speaking about. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll show you when this is ready. Go ahead. How are you guys?
Yeah, no, we're doing good. We're doing good. On today's show, we're going to talk about this past weekend, D23 held an event where they announced a bunch of new stuff for the Disney parks over this past weekend for 2024 and beyond. So we're going to be talking about that stuff a little bit. Nothing major, nothing huge, but I thought there was some pretty cool stuff. They also announced the show for next year, which is going to be massive. And we'll talk about why that is a little bit later. But yeah, and then we're going to be talking some One Piece news. I know Christian is all caught up with Ahsoka. I don't think he's going to spoil it for anyone, but I would love to hear his words on the most recent episode.
I can only share up to the halfway point.
Yeah.
Not share, but share my opinion.
Yeah, and then me and Eli here, we got to this past weekend. We went to go watch Bottoms, which was a brand new comedy that's released in theaters, and we're going to talk about that a little bit too.
Sweet.
Before we,
I did not get a chance to see Bottoms as much as I wanted to.
Oh my
I
gosh.
Hilarious.
did get to watch Gran Turismo, surprisingly,
Oh, cool.
Lucky.
and
that
surprisingly really good. I had a lot
That's
of fun.
funny. We were actually our original plan. We were getting ready to go watch Gran Turismo. Like we were gonna go check it out. We were looking for the times and everything. And then I hadn't seen that they had a red band trailer for Bottoms. Right? It's rated R. It's totally raunchy. It's. But anyways, so I played it because I was watching it. I wanted to watch it because there was a new red band trailer, so I put it on. And this kid right here was like. He's like, we could watch Gran Turismo later. He's like, when does this movie come out? He's like, when does this movie come out? I was like, it's out now. And he's like, oh yeah, screw Gran Turismo. We're gonna go watch that. So it sold him. So we did that. We went to go watch that instead of Gran Turismo. Which I mean, I haven't seen Gran Turismo, but I can't say I regretted the decision at all. Like I was so happy we got to get to this.
If you haven't seen Gran Turismo, it's a story you've seen 1,000 times. It's really great. I'm not saying that it's bad. That doesn't make it.
Oh no.
Bad, but you know what I mean. Bottom seems like a much more original.
No, and I've heard that about Gran Turismo. I heard that it's the formula, right? Like everyone knows the formula, knows what kind of movie it is, but it's done so well. Like it's just excellently done, uniquely done, and I've heard good things about it. I am excited to see it at some point.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. We'll talk about that too. So
Yeah,
plenty to
absolutely.
talk about today.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I've seen Arturo and Pablo have joined us. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? Thank you for joining us. We're so happy to have you. So let's talk about this past weekend when Disney had a bunch of people come together in Anaheim to announce some new stuff they've been working on for 2024 and beyond. Some interesting stuff there. First they officially kind of showed off some of the ride vehicles for Shanghai Disneyland's Zootopia attraction. They have a whole land opening up over there based on Zootopia.
Lucky.
The ride is going to be a trackless dark ride, very much in the vein of Rise of the Resistance and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad. It looks interesting. It looks fun. I'm excited for it. So that was kind of one of the kind of really big. We knew it was happening, but we weren't sure, how far along and what it was going to be like once we were in there. We got some updates on Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening next year at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. Obviously, it's a reimagining of Splash Mountain, but based on Princess and the Frog. Something I'm actually super excited for. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm pretty stoked. And this past weekend, Tiana's Place opened at
The
Disneyland.
cafe, right?
Yeah, the cafe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it took over the New Orleans restaurant. Been hearing mixed stuff about it.
I've seen some pics.
I've seen some pics and some videos, and I gotta say, man, I'm gonna go out here and say this. I think they kind of did her dirty with that restaurant. But anyways, I'm not. It doesn't like the outside looks cool. It looks cool. I'm just not super stoked with the interior, and I know they did what they could, especially with the the quick service restaurant kind of style. I don't know. Doesn't seem so magical on the inside as much as it does on the outside, but I haven't seen it. I haven't been there. Obviously, I've only seen videos and stuff. So I don't know. And Jason, you said you saw some pictures and stuff of it.
Same. Some people were just bashing the food, and it's like the one I get where they're like, "What's up with that orange just sitting there on the plate?" But like the other stuff, you won't know until you've actually tasted it. Because for me, something can look horrible, and like you try it, and everything.
Oh
yeah, it looks all right. But how it tastes is what really sells me.
I mean, let's be honest about Disneyland food. I think it's only, I would say, probably within the last few, maybe 5 or 6 years, that the food got significantly better at Disneyland.
Yes,
because I think historically, it's been like cafeteria food. You know what I mean? There's still a lot of places in Disneyland that are just straight up cafeteria food. I think we discussed this last time. We talked about what Pizza Planet, right? That's the
yeah.
Like, we don't even waste your time. Like,
formerly Red Rocket's Pizza Port.
Yeah, don't even just hold your breath through Tomorrowland. Don't consume anything.
Go to Little Caesars afterward.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think like lately there are a lot of like really, really good places. So I get people's expectations being higher for the food selections. You know what I mean? Like we were talking recently about all of our favorite foods. I still stand by it, man. The Tatooine Sunset is the best drink on. I was going to say
to try it, man.
Yeah, that is.
One of these days I'll be able to try it.
Blue milk is amazing.
Speaking of drinks, at Magic Kingdom at Disney World, they're actually going to be opening a Pirates of the Caribbean tavern right next to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Pirates of the Caribbean themed bar, basically. It's going to be lots of rum, a lot of fun, and I'm very excited to go check that out once it opens. I believe it's supposed to open next year. I love that.
I need to go after I'm doing one dressed up as Edward Kenway.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. We also got some other news. We got the Journey of Water walkthrough attraction at Walt Disney World at Epcot is going to be opening to the public October 16th. This is the walkthrough attraction. I've heard some mixed things. I mean, it's just a walkthrough, so there's a water feature, so kids are gonna be able to play in it, stay cool. It's supposed to be fun, really cool. Right next to that, there's gonna be a Moana meet and greet, which is gonna be really, really fun. Ahsoka. Speaking of Ahsoka, which we'll talk about a little bit later, she's going to be appearing at Star Tours. She's going to be doing some stuff for Star Tours, which still kind of bothers me that they haven't done anything with Mandalorian on Star Tours, but I think they should, right? I mean, wouldn't that be cool? I mean, you can have a themed land, and even on the ride itself, you have that little screen pop up where you get, someone on your aid, you get Poe or you get Boba or whatever it is. They could do something with Mando and the child and Baby Yoda. I will always call him Baby Yoda. I don't care.
He deserves his own ride. I mean, even if you just gave us like replace the Dumbos. I'm not saying to do that, Disney, but like with those little animals that his little Ugnaught partner on the first season was riding with the 2 legs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can imagine riding those.
Oh yeah. What are those things called again? Dang it!
It's like on the first season.
Yeah. The little walkers. I think they're from the animation too.
Yeah,
what you need to
Mandalorian theme. He's kind of a big deal.
What you need to do is replace Smuggler's Run with something Mandalorian.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you know what? Just do something with that queue because that queue is amazing. That queue is significantly better than what the whole ride is for. So
I agree. Like if somehow there could be something that you can do with the queue. Obviously, you want to keep it Millennium Falcon themed, of course, somehow. But I don't know. I'm sure you can work it out. But we got that coming. Figment. I don't know. So, are you guys familiar with Figment?
Yeah, the purple dragon, right?
Well, purple dragon. Yeah, he's
old school.
Journey into imagination. He's kind of one of Epcot's mascots. He pretty much is Epcot's mascot. He's now doing a meet and greet at Epcot, which is really, really cool. I have seen a couple videos though where he's already fallen twice, and they've only been open since the beginning of the weekend. So I don't know if that's something that they're going to be working on, but it could be the costume.
I hope
it looks like a lot of fun. I love Figment. Journey into imagination. It's not my favorite ride, but it was really fun when we went.
Was.
So yeah, that was cool.
I wish Test Track was open.
Yeah, me too. So Epcot, another Epcot, big piece of Epcot news, I think. Soarin' Over California will be coming back to the park. Right now, it's Soarin' Over the World, but at Epcot, Soarin' Over California is going to be replacing Soarin' Over the World for a limited time to celebrate the anniversary of the ride opening there. So that'll be cool. That'll be really fun. I mean, it's kind of a throwback to something that, because I wasn't, when California Adventure opened, I thought it was Soaring Over California, right? Before
It was.
Yeah,
Right.
it was. Yeah.
I
It
got
was
a
this
list
past,
here.
year. I think when I went with Nolan and his family for a limited time, it was Soaring Over California.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I got a list here of some of the new footage that they're adding to this Soaring Over California. So it's Soaring Over Sacramento. That sounds fun. Soaring Over Pomona. Interesting.
Oh.
Don't get
Soaring
shot.
Over Irvine. That's really fun.
Okay.
I have
Makes sense though.
Soaring Over Hawaiian Gardens. I don't know. Have you guys ever
No,
been?
that's Garden Grove.
Garden Grove. Oh, okay. And then there's a Soaring Over Garden Grove. There's plenty of these.
Soaring Over Victorville.
Not on Hesperia is, but Victorville is not. Surprisingly,
Are you
that's
shitting
weird.
me?
What about
Hesperia? You gotta be kidding.
Just kidding.
Hey, there's the Target.
Yeah, there's the Super Target.
That's cool. That's cool though. Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be interesting. We also got Zootopia show is going to be replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug in the main tree at Animal Kingdom. There's the big tree of life
Finally.
at Animal Kingdom. Now, when we went, it's super big. It's super beautiful. And then you go in and then it's tough to be a bug. Like you're kind of expecting something, obviously you know what it is when you're going in there, but they could do something different with that space. It's Tough to Be a Bug was a lot of fun, but it doesn't have that epic scope that should be in that gigantic tree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're doing a Zootopia attraction in there, which could be fun, like a Zootopia type 3D movie, which could be really, really cool. And just real quick, okay. So this is one of my biggest kind of iffy things with Disney. That the thing that bothers me is Disney has a really, really bad habit of announcing stuff before they even commit to doing anything, right? They're like, we're thinking about doing this. So just keep an eye out just in case we do it. And they did that at this year's D23. They're talking about, Dino Land USA at Animal Kingdom has kind of been one of the more, it's popular to an extent, but it's not one of the more popular areas there. There's been talks of replacing it with something else over the last few years. And there's a ride there called Dinosaur, which is a really fun, it's like Indiana Jones, except you go back in time and you're visiting the dinosaur times and you're trying to get back home or whatever. It's fun. It's cool. It's really jerky. It's like, it needs work.
Pretty much.
It's a smash and grab. Absolutely. Anyways,
get a dinosaur.
Disney confirmed that they were thinking about retheming that area to an Indiana Jones / Encanto mashup type world.
How would they do that?
By turning the right dinosaur into an Indiana Jones ride, because it basically is Indiana Jones. So you can easily just do some overlays. It'll be fine. And doing it like part Encanto, because it all kind of takes place in the jungly areas and stuff. So I can see it working out.
It's reaching. I feel like that's reaching.
But
they've got leaves. He's got leaves.
2032.
Right. But they announced that they're thinking about doing that. So just so y'all know, it could happen.
It's cool to see Encanto get some representation at the parks. I think that's.
I would love for Encanto to get some representation at the parks. There's also they shared a first look at the ride vehicle for the Avengers attraction that's coming to California Adventure. It's just it's concept art. It's nothing. Let's see if I can show it on the screen here.
Oh, that's cool.
There you go.
It looks very shieldy.
Yeah. So I mean, the whole theme of the ride, I don't know if you all know, but basically, you're fighting against King Thanos. It takes place in the multiverse.
Oh,
where Thanos
cool.
wins. Thanos wins, and it's a whole new experience. Like it's King Thanos against the Avengers, and you're along on the ride. Could be cool. It's going in that big, the big building there where they have the Quinjet on top and stuff like that.
Finally.
So finally. So that's what they're doing with that when it opens. Who knows? But
It'd be kind of cool if like he snaps his fingers and like half of the ride splits this way and the other goes that way.
Oh,
It
that's
looks like we're waiting.
cool.
That would be.
that
Because
would
then
be
you would
interesting.
want to like keep going, like or like
Yeah.
write it multiple times.
Yeah.
So many different.
Absolutely.
Sounds like
But
really
yeah,
cool.
and they also announced that next year's event will actually be taking place at their biggest venue ever. It's going to be taking place, let's see. So this is going to be taking place August 9th, 10th, and 11th in Anaheim. What's the big arena they have there?
The convention center.
Yeah.
No, it's actually
Is it going to be at the stadium?
it's
Or
a
like
stadium. Yeah, it's going to be at the
is it at the Honda Center?
Honda
or
Center?
Honda Center.
No
The,
way.
crazy. That's
It's going to be
crazy.
at the Honda
Wow.
Center next year.
Hey, that's a less
They're-
congested drive.
I know.
Yeah, they're planning
Parking should be
on a
better.
huge.
Probably gonna have a ton of
events.
outdoor stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, this thing I was reading, it obviously seats so many more people than they've had before and stuff like that. So it's certainly they're planning some pretty big things for next year. So
Are you guys D23 members?
no, but keep an eye on Pastrami Nation because we're gonna do press there. That's my goal. So we're gonna do that. So
Yes.
Our goal
we'll
is
be
to
reporting
make it
from
to
the-
Tiana's
Oh,
bio
sweet.
adventure.
So yeah, we've been D23 members for. Did Bella come in here? Where's my door open? We've been
I
D23
saw it,
members
yeah.
for it's been a year now, a little over a year. So they just mailed this out. It's really nice. You can kind of see. I've taken this out of the box once, but
This is
what's
cool.
this? I won the award for best Disney dad. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But yeah, it's this really, really like
That is so
classy,
cool.
like pretty. It's the official Disney fan club. It says D23 underneath, and it's like really, really nice.
Is it metal?
No, it's not. It's like really like metal vacuum, right?
That's
Like,
awesome.
but it's definitely plastic. They've definitely weighted down the base. It feels nice and heavy, like it's not going to topple over. This is like an ornament. It feels like an ornament, like the whole Mickey thing. But how cute is that, right? And how cool is that that
It's
they would send
awesome.
that out?
The award for best toy collection goes to.
I know. Oh, you really shouldn't have. Oh, this cost me a fortune.
That's so cool, man. That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
It was very, very
D23
cool.
has its perks.
It does. And then also, like, we get first dibs on those
Tickets, right?
tickets to
They don't give you
D23.
tickets, right? You have to still buy them.
We still have to get them, but I
You
think
still
they
get
go-
priority access, right?
Exactly.
Sweet.
Exact mundo. So that's kind of cool to hear that next year's going to be so big.
Yeah, that is really
Epic.
cool. So yeah, that's our update for Disney Park news. Let us know what you guys think about some of the stuff. Let us know what you all are excited for, what you guys aren't excited for. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you all. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about some quick tidbits, pieces of news. So
I got
Netflix-
it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just because we kind of wrapped up. This is how insignificant this is because we talked about like what should we talk about before the podcast started, and this was not brought up. You would think when I bring it up, we're all gonna be like, God damn it! How did we? What did you guys all think of the teaser trailer for Aquaman 2?
Oh,
I
they
haven't
released
seen
one.
it yet.
There's
forgot to tell you.
they dropped the teaser yesterday. This is
Oh,
this is how DC just doesn't care anymore. They're like, just get it out. Just
I've actually read reports that like they're just done with this movie already. They're just like done with the marketing. They're just like get it out. Like who cares?
It's dated for December. It's dated for December. They say at the end of the teaser. I think not tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, on Thursday, they're dropping a full trailer. So
What did you think about it? Did you watch it?
yeah, I kind of already forgot about it. It looks cool. I mean, it looks cool. It looks like harder. Like the first one was like really fun and like bright, and this one like it looks like bad stuff is happening. Like the typical kind of sequel thing where like everything crumbles around you. So it looks cool. It's what you would expect from what's his name, James Wan, right?
Yeah, James Wan, yeah. I
it's-
love James
it's-
Wan. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's pretty. Like I don't I don't think it looks bad at all. So I'm just not excited for it. I think that's
Yeah.
it. And it's not James Wan's fault or Momoa or anybody else. Maybe Amber's fault a little.
Amber's
bit.
she's not in the new one, right?
She's
she
in
is.
it. I'm
She
sure.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's in it. She's in it for sure. Yeah, Netflix announced that the producers of Netflix's One Piece have announced that season 2 is ready to go. Season 2 of One Piece is ready to be filmed, ready to be shot. All the scripts are written, everything else, except the studios are still being selfish and they are not paying the performers or writers what they deserve. So as soon as that gets figured out, second season will be shooting. It'll be good to go.
Alabasta Saga.
The Alabasta Saga, I have no idea what that means.
Just sounds cool.
Watch the anime, you'll figure out what it means.
It does sound cool. It does sound cool. I'm really digging season 1 a lot. I think it's great. We've been watching it together, and we haven't finished it yet, but I like it so far. What I've seen of it.
We are on the second to last.
And Microsoft announced yesterday that they are teaming up with MasterCard. To do a new points reward system for gamers. Basically, for every $100 you spend, you get
$1
towards a game. So you have to pay what? So every $600 you spend, you get 5 points or 6 points. How do the points accumulate though? I mean, how do you like? Is it 1 point per dollar essentially?
Yes, 1 point per dollar, and 1 point is equal to 1 cent.
Oh, okay. So 1 point is equal to 1 cent on the Microsoft Store.
Yes.
Wait, what?
1 point to 1 cent. So if you have 1,000 points, you have $10.
If you spend $1, that is equal to 1 point, and 1 point is equal to 1 cent.
So how would that be? So how much would you have to spend to be able to get a game?
You have to buy
around 6,000.
Yeah, I don't know.
See it. Like
that's about as much as I spend a week.
Streaming services.
Blows more than that at Frankincense.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's true. You can use it for other stuff. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm really excited for that. Anthony Blanco, what's up? Howdy,
hey, Blanco, what's up?
Howdy, Anthony Blanco. How are you?
Howdy.
And real quick, I just want to say, Drew Barrymore has decided to cross picket lines by resuming her talk show. So good for her. I'm just joking. Like, screw that. Like, don't. The scabbing is not cool. So I just thought that was worth bringing up because that's pretty messed up. So, anyway, just want to talk about that. The strikes are still happening. Like I said before, with the Netflix thing, studios are still being selfish, and they're not. They're essentially. I think they're starting to. Warner Brothers came out with a report last week of talking about how their losses are quadruple basically what they predicted they were going to lose this year because of the strike. If they had just the percentage of the amount they're losing this year, if they just paid a percentage, the writers and the actors only asking for a percentage of what they're actually losing over this year because of the strikes. None of it makes any sense, and I don't understand why they're not giving in. I know it's a power play, it's all these things, but
yeah, it's a power play. And
did you think the strike was going to go this long? Like when it first started?
I did because studios are just greedy. They're trying to hold the high ground. They think they have the power until they realize, Warner Brothers, two of the biggest, one of the biggest movies of the year, the biggest movie of the year, I think at this point, Barbie, they're taking the biggest loss out of everyone, which is strange, even though they've had the biggest movie of the year.
The biggest gain of the year.
The biggest
to other movies.
Yeah. So, I don't know, guys, just pay your actors, pay your writers, like just pay them what they're worth, man. Cause you're trying to do this AI stuff, which I've heard rumors of, and they're talking about doing AI like scripts and stuff.
Don't do that.
And they're trying to hire writers to fix the AI scripts, which is
if you need to do that, then just hire the writers. It'll cost less than like using this over and over.
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, anyways, that's my 2 cents. I do apologize. Just had to throw that out there. Sometimes you just need events.
Hey, have you guys have seen Straight Outta Compton, right?
I haven't actually.
I was going to say more of these writers need to be Ice Cube going at that record producer to get the point across. Because same thing, he was getting screwed, and then the only answer they listened to was when he came into their office with a baseball bat, started shattering some glass, and said, "I want what I'm owed,"
And he should, absolutely should, and that's essentially what the writers are going to have to do.
I'll be the one with the bat.
Yes, because they won't listen otherwise. Like these corporate execs they're greedy. They're Suge Knights,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they don't care. They don't really care about
Didn't
anything.
MK1 come over the weekend? Come out over
Not
the
yet.
weekend?
No, it comes out this weekend.
I was saying, is that out yet? That's the one
No,
I'm hyped
and
for.
it's so cool that they got freaking Jean-Claude Van Damme as Johnny Cage.
That's so
Yes.
perfect. Yeah.
Which is like, apparently that's always been the dream since the first one came
Yeah.
out. They were never
Full
able to do
circle.
it.
That's where they based the
Oh,
character off
no.
of
Exactly.
Frank
Yeah.
Dukes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Also want to bring up The Little Mermaid is now streaming on Disney Plus. Go check it out if y'all haven't yet. It actually did really massive numbers for Disney Plus.
Good movie.
And also, yeah, it was a fun movie. Yeah, it was good. Halle Bailey is just absolutely outstanding in that movie. Like if it wasn't for her being as good as she was, I would not have liked it, because the movie itself, I'm not a huge fan of, but her performance in that movie makes the movie for me. Like she's incredible. She's Ariel. It's insane how close she got.
She
to
is
the
an
character.
amazing actress.
She is.
In most of the movies she's in.
She is. And October 4th, The Haunted Mansion comes to Disney Plus. So just in time
Yes.
for Halloween.
It's so stupid.
So yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's
I
a whole
mean,
other conversation.
Not the movie. What Disney is doing with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because they only care about Disney Plus right now. They only care about streaming. So let's move on. Christian, you want to talk about the brand new episode of Ahsoka?
I do.
We're not going to be getting into spoilers, obviously.
No spoilers. I cannot. This is okay. So we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but it's basically it is kind of a little bit required. It's not explicitly. You can still completely enjoy the show if you didn't watch Rebels or if you didn't watch. I think they do a really good job of explaining things so you're not left behind. However, this episode very much rewards you for being a fan of not just Rebels, but especially Clone Wars. Again, I've kind of stood by this before. Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. And man, this episode, you had to know that this was going to be a good one. This is the one that they were screening in theaters, right? Obviously, there's going to be a big reason to do it. Don't miss out on this episode. It's just really satisfying, and it just kind of the Star Wars butterflies start flying up in my tummies on this episode. I don't know how else to describe this episode without giving us too much. There are some definite. Oh, I see. I can't even say anything because there's major spoiler stuff. I mean, you kind of know if you come from Rebels, you know where we're headed. But that's about all I'll say. Go check it out.
Definitely.
Can
My other
I
thing
say
is
something real fast.
please,
Yep.
Eli. Oh,
It was definitely I can see why, even though I'm only halfway through the episode so far, I can definitely see why they released it to theaters as well as streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks very
It's-
cinematic.
It does.
it is incredibly gorgeous. Filoni again directing this episode. There are he does a lot of like repeated shots where like, he cuts out of one scene and back into another scene, like using like a mirrored shot, which is beautiful. There's just a lot of symmetry to this episode too, and it's kind of like really dives deep into like the real deep lore of Star Wars, like the Filoni lore. Like if you watch like Rebels, and you know what I'm talking about if you watch all those shows.
100%.
But yeah, it's awesome, and it's fantastic, and I love that like he kind of has this like open playground to get this wild with something that I don't know. I feel like a lot of Star Wars people like to hold Star Wars into a box and like only this is what I like of Star Wars and this is all I want to see. And anything that exists outside of this box of Star Wars isn't Star Wars. Like that's annoying. Star Wars is everything.
I
And
would
it can be
take them and force them to watch the rest of it,
Yeah.
including Clone Wars and all of the stuff that they don't like, even Resistance.
Yeah, man. But what a beautiful episode. I'm still that episode literally ended right before we started recording, so I was still
Sweet.
emotionally shook from it all. But yeah,
Damn, I need to catch up.
yeah, definitely.
So I kind of just real quick, not to get too much off subject, but I kind of want to talk about this report real quick that I was just reading a second ago. So we have a couple more Avengers movies on the horizon, right? So we have a Horizon, the King Dynasty, or sorry, Avengers, the King Dynasty, and Avengers: Secret Wars. So we already have a director for the King Dynasty, he also directed Shang-Chi. Helmer Dustin, Daniel Cretton has been, tasked to direct that movie. But there's been a lot of rumors speculating as to who's going to direct Secret Wars. We have 3 names here, 2 of which I kind of expected might happen. One of them just completely came out of left field. And if it happens, will be probably one of the most interesting superhero movies ever made, I think, as far as what it looks like, just aesthetics and stuff. So we have the 2 main rumor that might make sense. Sam Raimi, of course. Sam Raimi's kind of back into the Marvel fold, and Sean Levy, who's currently directing Deadpool 3.
Right.
The other name on the list is this just kind of blows my mind. Alfonso Cuarón. So Alfonso Cuarón, for those of you who don't know, he did Gravity, Children of Men. He did Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and he's done a ton of other things too. Wonderful director. He also did Y Tu Mama Tambien, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If this goes through, I mean, he has done a genre film before, like I said, with Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So I feel like I think he might like to play in this playground, and I think if he does, him doing a Secret Wars movie,
that's exciting, man.
Really exciting.
Yeah.
So I would be very, very excited to see that. So Marvel, make that happen. This is all 100% rumor speculation right now, but that would be incredible. So anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because I think that would be fascinating.
That was one of the better Harry Potter movies, I think,
That's my favorite Harry Potter movie, to be honest. Yeah.
I heard they're in talks also to see if he's interested in directing. Martin Scorsese, maybe he might be available for.
Give him a contract. I love it. Yeah, he'll take it. And his will go directly to Disney Plus.
I swear.
What were you gonna say?
3 hours long.
They definitely need to bring in either God Emperor Doom or the Beyonder for Secret Wars, because those 2 are the major players in the comics for villains wise.
Yeah.
So speaking of Doom, have you guys been hearing these rumors that they want little old Joshy Hartnett to play Doom?
I've heard about that.
Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Especially after watching Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think he can pull it off.
Yeah. It's kind of like the idea of like when Robert Pattinson took over Batman, right? I had to see Tenet in order to be okay with it happening. I feel like Hartnett's the same way. I had to see Oppenheimer for it to make sense and be like, yeah, okay, like I can see it. What do you think about it?
I love it. I like it. I like exactly what you guys said after Oppenheimer. I'm like, yeah, give it to the guy. I'm also just excited to see him back, like, because I remember the early 2000s. Like, yeah,
dude, I love The Faculty, dude. Him in The Faculty, Zeke, like he's incredible.
Yeah.
I keep on seeing the memes, like who would you want on your side in a horror movie situation, and all of it's like him as Zeke, like with the pen. I'm like, dude, yeah, I want him. Speaking of Scorsese too, we brought him up. The Killers of the Flower Moon. Have you seen the trailer? That looks freaking amazing.
So
that looks outstanding. Like I haven't honestly been super excited for a Scorsese movie in a while, to be honest. But this looks amazing. I mean,
I want to watch more of his movies.
Oh, he's a wonderful director, and obviously, I mean, he's like one of the like he's up there, right? Like he's like one of like top 5 directors of all time.
Oh yeah.
Easy. But not all of his movies are for me, which is fine. I don't think they're for everybody.
I'd say he's one of the big 3 of directors.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you say directors, like, I mean, especially your generation who's still kind of learning. I mean, you know who Scorsese is. Like, you at least know the name. You don't necessarily know it, but
The Art of Silence.
So while we're on this subject, before we go too far, can we play a little game? I'm going to ask you a question. We'll all think about it, and then we'll answer it at the end.
Okay.
Sure.
So try to think of at least 3, if you can get to 3 directors that don't have a turd. Right. So every director has at least a bad movie. Like,
yes, absolutely,
right.
100%.
I love Fincher, but Benjamin Button was not my favorite. So,
Button, but I
so
thought that Button was decent, but I have other
it's
things.
my opinion is his weakest of his.
The one that I despise of his, not despise, but the his most recent one, the one the Citizen Kane one, the one that's on Netflix.
I didn't see that one.
Gosh, it was good, but it was just very, very dry, very drab. Okay, but yeah, no, I will think. Yeah, we'll think about it. At the end, let's certainly do that. So, let's talk about Bottoms real quick. Yeah, Bottoms. Bottoms is just a really, really super funny, out there absurdist comedy about two, lesbian teenage girls who are these kind of losers in high school. They're not very popular. They're kind of the nerdy kids. They don't really, they don't really fit in. They fit in with each other, and they kind of have been childhood friends. And they're trying to find their place in the world. And these two characters, you got PJ and Josie, played by Rachel Sennott and Ayo Edebiri. I ruined her name. I apologize, but she's in The Bear. She's Sydney from The Bear, and she is just outstanding in everything she does. She's also April O'Neil in the new Ninja Turtle movie. Anyways, these girls, they come up with this plan. They come up with this, through an incident kind of beyond their control. They come up with this plan where they basically start a fight club at their school. It's a self-defense club, but it's essentially a fight club. Their whole kind of cover for it is that they're empowering women to be strong and everything. But
and to
come together, literally. So they have an ulterior motive behind it, though. They're doing it to get with the girls that they really like. So they're doing it. Think of like something like Superbad, right? Like something those guys would do, just a female version of it, and that's this movie.
That's awesome.
It kind of reminded me of Booksmart. It's Booksmart meets Fight Club, which is this really hilarious. It's got some really funny moments. The performances are great, especially the two leads. What's her name? Hazel. There's this girl, Hazel, who's just this incredible character. She has this affinity, like she loves blowing stuff up.
I feel like
it's fantastic.
Every movie and TV show needs at least one character.
Yes. Yeah. And the big surprise for me, Marshawn Lynch is in this movie. Marshawn Lynch plays the teacher. He plays the teacher, Mr. G. And he is hilarious. He is great. He is like, he doesn't want to get, they need a teacher to endorse the club. And they essentially like just kind of, he's one of those teachers that you can tell is just there for the paycheck. And he's like, and they're like, if you do this club, you're not going to have to go home to your nagging wife and all this stuff. And he's like, all right, cool. I endorse it. But yeah, it's just, it's super funny. It's heartfelt. It's got these really, really sweet moments between the characters. And it's just about, it really is just about finding where you belong in this world. And it never gets too serious or sappy. It's just a good time. And the end, like, you never think of high school comedies, and then by the end of the movie, everyone is just covered in blood. And that's exactly, and it's not horror either. Like, it's not a slasher. It's just like, just the most random stuff. And like, it's just
not Carrie covered with blood, but still covered with
blood. Like enough blood, like fighting blood. And it's a good time. I highly, highly, highly recommend checking it out. It's easily my top 5 of the year. Like it's up there. I wouldn't say
it's top 3.
Top 3, yeah. I wouldn't say it's particularly, maybe not the funniest movie of the year. I still think for me personally, that's Joyride. I think Joyride is absolutely hilarious, but I feel like it does things differently than Joyride. It's not the same kind of comedy. It's got a little bit more kind of undertones to it and a little bit more depth to the story than something like Joyride does. And that's where it kind of sold me. Overall, I had a good time with it. I had a blast.
It's funny, but it still adds to the plot.
Yeah. And none of the humor comes from like one-liners and zips and stuff back and forth. It's all about the characters and reactions and how they respond to certain situations. That brings out the comedy. And so, obviously, like I said before, it is rated R. It isn't a family film per se, but I do feel like there's no nudity, there's there's cursing and some and blood, like violence, like humorous violence too. It's not even like over the top, like super like bloody or anything.
It's not like Berserk.
Yeah, it's not like Berserk. It's got some foul language, some like sexual content, but nothing like. They never actually show anything. But yeah, I mean, I think the teenagers will love it. He loved it. Like I said, he's 16 and he loved it. And I loved it. We all loved it. So yeah, definitely go check out Bottoms if it's playing near you. I know it started as a limited release. It opened up at a few more theaters. And then I don't know how much further it's going to go. Movies like this need to succeed.
You told me, like, as we were leaving, like, this is like a movie that connects generations.
It does. It really does. So we actually had this conversation about how movies, actually, it's funny. I was talking to him about when American Pie came out, right? Like American Pie was like a huge deal. I had just graduated high school. And I went to go watch it with my dad. Like my dad wanted to go watch it. So we all went to go watch American Pie. But like, it's one of those things where like, I was like watching, like he was laughing as much as I was. And then you think about it, you're like, these kind of situations are universal, right? Like everyone has experienced these kind of things. Anyone who's ever went to high school kind of has this experience. So no matter how old you get, it's super universal in that way, where everyone can relate to high school movies, if that makes sense, right? Because everyone's been through it. Yes. And there's not a lot in them that changes a whole lot. Maybe the technology changes and certain things change, but for the most part, the stories are all universal. And this is one of those that it's like everyone can relate to something in this movie, and whether it's being that loser or being the popular kid or whatever it is, like everyone can. The jocks in this movie are freaking, they're so dumb. Like they made it a point to really show that men are crybabies, because they are. I'm not even gonna lie, like they really are. There's one scene where the main football player gets hit by a car, but he like barely gets his knee like tapped, and he's on the ground like crying, and he's like, oh, his football buddies are like, oh my god, you hit him, all this stuff. And the guys they're always wearing their football uniforms. It's fantastic. They all, every time they're on screens, they do something or say something stupid and funny that you just can't help but laugh at.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so certainly check it out. Highly recommend it. So we're doing this game, huh, Christian?
Yes.
So Andy W. Case is Baz Luhrmann.
Hey, what's up, Andy?
So I would agree.
Here's the thing about the thing, because there's a lot of directors who are out there who will only put out like 2 movies, and of course they'll be batting 1,000, right? You put 2 movies out and they're good. So it's like maybe we should consider like who has had the longest streak of like uninterrupted good movie.
Well, I say we each say a director that has, maybe if we could do 2 directors that have no duds, and then after that we pick someone who has kind of the longest streak of no duds, right?
Okay.
So who would you guys pick? This is a tough one. This is
especially for
because
me.
Even some of my favorite directors have. So honestly, I would have to say Tarantino.
I think Tarantino's a given, right? Because I think we can all agree that Tarantino has not made a bad movie.
No, I don't think he has.
Okay, so I think he's the batting 1,000. Right.
So you'd say Christopher Nolan?
Yes.
Okay. Christopher Nolan, I think.
I'm trying to think of everything. What happened?
He's pretty good.
I don't know what he did. Something before Memento. Was that Pi? Was that
Following?
Him?
That was Following. Pi was Aronofsky.
Aronofsky. I keep getting.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
No. Yeah, you better apologize.
I think I could go. I could see Nolan. I could agree with Nolan.
I'd say Nolan. I'd also say, even though she's only directed 3 movies, I would say Greta Gerwig. Greta Gerwig's up there for me personally.
1,000 as well.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve. I have not seen anything I didn't like from that guy.
Yeah.
What's a really bad like turd movie you guys have seen from a decent director?
Oh, Kevin Smith, Yoga Hoosers, and everything after that.
Jurassic Park 2.
The Lost World. Yes. No, you're right.
And then Ben
Guy Ritchie has put out some stinkers.
God, I love Guy Ritchie. He's my favorite director who I think he's done more stuff I don't like than stuff, but I love Snatch.
Same.
Like I desperately like Snatch. Like love
Snatch is incredible.
Yeah.
I think it might have a director that has done more good than bad. Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I think he's a director that all the directors look up to.
Yeah.
Eli, have you seen Snatch?
No.
We have not. No, I haven't. So we're going down a
Tonight.
Christopher Nolan hole right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we're
Good
doing.
movie.
We're still finishing up Memento. We got some other ones that we need to catch up, and then Guy Ritchie's. I want to start out with Lock, Stock,
and
Snatch. Snatch is my favorite too. Like,
Yeah.
I love.
See, those are
Memento
good.
is
I'm talking
Yeah.
like King Arthur and shit like that. It
very.
I like King Arthur.
was all
I actually-
right. It wasn't
I
like
actually thought King Arthur was pretty good. I do wish. So here's what on this Disney rant we've been going on all day today. I wish they had. I liked Aladdin. I thought Aladdin was fine. Aladdin is probably honestly my favorite live action remake because they dared do something a little bit different, but they didn't let Guy Ritchie go all Guy Ritchie, right? Not super rated R, right? I'm not even talking about going crazy, but I feel like it was just too shiny and too corporate to be a Guy Ritchie movie.
right. It didn't feel like
And
a Guy Ritchie.
It didn't feel like a Guy Ritchie. And I feel like if they let him put more of his kind of style, maybe some more hectic, maybe some more of his, camera work and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
While we're on this subject, may I say something?
Yeah.
The son of the director of Snow White has come out and said that they are ruining Snow White not because of the Hispanic actress, but because of what she's saying about the movie.
Yeah. No,
the
I know.
original movie.
Can we just
I know.
Okay, hold on. Let's
No, go ahead.
continue this discussion, please.
Oh boy.
It's been bothering me for so long. And for those of Marvel Legend collectors, I believe me, I'm bringing all this back. I've always wondered why Rachel Ziegler looks so familiar. If any of you have the from 7 years ago, the Silk figure, God, please let me. Does that not look like Rachel Ziegler?
And it does.
God damn it, it's so weird. I can't get a good.
That's crazy.
Ever since I saw her, I'm like every time, and I couldn't put two and two together since this past week, and I was going through I was reorganizing. I'm like, Snow White. It was really funny. Anyway,
so yeah, I don't actually personally. I haven't been keeping up with any of that, so I have no idea what she's saying. I do know that I really don't care.
Yeah.
About her being I should I care what she's saying?
She's basically saying that the old movie is trash.
Okay, what's wrong with that? She maybe thinks it's trash.
But then again, she's only watched the first couple of seconds and then turned it off.
People have opinions.
And her opinion is wrong.
Yeah, I
The
think
dwarf controversy, that's the one that made me laugh.
What is it?
The dwarf thing, when people are they couldn't find dwarf actors. Well, look at the Hobbit movies. They shrunk them down, It
isn't that they couldn't find them, it's that they didn't want to cast them. They wanted to try and make it more diverse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of the 7 dwarves, we have the 7 ethnically diverse bandits.
Listen, we have we'll always have the original Snow White.
That's kind of been my thing with all these Disney remakes. I feel like I haven't watched any of them. I think what was the last one I saw? I Beauty and the Beast, and I hated it.
Oh yeah.
I think I saw The Lion King. It's such a crazy thing. I come from Jason too. You know what I mean? All of us, we're all
else because it's no longer Snow White and the 7 dwarves.
Right. I think that's the thing. And also with The Lion, The Lion King was, I think maybe Favreau. Speaking about directors who don't have that's when I think the world has just let's all just not talk about The Lion King ever again. Disney is trying to make us all forget there's something elixir in our water. Because that movie is crazy. If you watch it just without the context of the original animated film, right, and just watch it, it's a feat of animation. It's incredible what they did, right? Yeah. But it's still nowhere near as good as the original animation. Yeah. Also, negates its existence, right? Why did we even make this? So obviously,
I liked it, but yeah, nothing's gonna ever be 2D animation.
No, and can we all just stop Beyonce from ever acting again. Please, Beyonce. I'm so sorry. I know you're killing it on your tour right now, and you do you, baby boo. But don't.
Her best acting role is in Gold Member. We all agree.
Yeah.
That's
but I
a
don't know.
acting career.
I don't get that upset because exactly what Kevin said. There's always the original. Like
Yeah.
I might hate the new one, but who cares? I'll just watch the old one.
I just hope they don't screw up the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
They'll never.
No.
That's never going to happen.
No.
That's
I just don't get why people get so upset about it. It's like I understand it's like ruining a classic or whatever or like anything, but it's like, dude, you'll always have the original. Like it's fine. No one is touching that. No one is taking that away from you.
I'm not saying it ruins
Like-
the original. It ruins the new story that they're trying to make.
Yeah, but let them
Because
make
they
it.
aren't keeping, like they're calling it the same thing, but they're changing everything about it.
Yeah, well, how closely did the original animated Snow White connect to the book or to the original fairy tale? Probably not very close.
Well, I'd say that it's at least closer than what some of the newer movies are trying to do with their original counterparts.
I like that sentiment. We'll always have the original movie. People complaining that a remake somehow ruins the original is just so silly. It is silly. It is. No, and I get where you're coming from, Elijah. And I get where people get so passionate about these things that they want them to be good, right? Like they want to experience them in a different...
if it's a good movie, then I don't really care.
Yeah, in a different medium. But like, you know, you had the whole Little Mermaid controversy, you know, just because of the color of her skin, people were getting upset.
She was the best part of that movie.
No, she was, exactly. And I think people just need to understand, like, personally, I love Ariel, right? Like Ariel is one of my favorite Disney. I have a tattoo of Ariel, the original, you know, on my arm. Like, but I'm not, I thought Halle Bailey's was also just, I mean, was excellent. So
if they came out with her doing a dubbed over version of the original Little Mermaid, and she was the only part that dubbed over, I would be completely okay with it.
Yeah. I think Andy, to kind of also to respond to what you were saying, I totally understand and I get it. I'm exactly right there with you. But for me also, when it's a property that doesn't have, like Little Mermaid, right? It's a huge thing, part of a gigantic corporation. So whatever. Right, I always have the original. I can always go back to it. But when it's a property like for me, something close to my heart, Hellboy. Right, when they put out a bad movie, that's the end of the franchise. You know what I mean? Like if a movie comes out and it's bad, they're not gonna. Another studio's not gonna be like, well, let's try again. You know what I mean? Somebody puts out a bad movie, that's gonna kill the franchise. So I also do get like when people do not like a new iteration of something, because something like that, it can teeter and like actually like, you know.
I get that. I understand that too. I understand, like, you know, coming off of 2 Guillermo del Toro Hellboys, then you get the David Harbour Hellboy, and then you're like,
it wasn't bad though. It was definitely gorier than the first 2.
Yeah, it wasn't good though. I would say they had me for 30 minutes and then boom, they lost me. And then I was trying so desperately to hold on. I'm like, oh, Baba Yaga? I was like,
and it's okay for them. So for me, it's okay for them to like change up things a little bit, right? To do, obviously, to fit a new medium, you have to change things up. Not everything's going to be exactly the way it needs to be as you're seeing it on the page, or as you're seeing it as
they preserve the character,
right?
And they had the story down, then I'm more on board with it than if they change the character and they don't keep the same story.
Mm-hmm. No, and I get that. But again, you know, you still have, you know, and again, even after all is said and done, even if it's not good, like Christian, you fell in love originally with the comic books, right? With the animated. Yeah, did you watch the animated movies? Were they any good?
There's a couple of them. There's Blood and Wine, and they're cool. They're fun. It's like very much adapted to animation.
Right. But you can also agree that, like, obviously the movies didn't destroy those for you, right?
No.
Like those are still super special.
I, in fact, fell in love with those 2 movies. I'm pretty sure it's the Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, the Guillermo del Toro ones were excellent. Yeah, Guillermo del Toro. I think Guillermo del Toro might be one of those directors who actually hasn't had a miss, to be honest.
I can't think of one. The Shape of Water, though. I didn't like that one.
I thought it was fine.
It was it was all right. I watched it, but it was like, compared to his other stuff, I'm like,
It was interesting. I think Christian's going to grab his fish man. Just kidding.
Did they make a fish man figure?
I don't know.
What happened?
I mean, they did.
Shape of Water.
We're talking about the.
Sorry.
Nice.
Get this.
Can I borrow those claws so I can stick them through Michael Bay?
Spirit
Speaking of horror
Halloween.
movies.
Spirit Halloween, $20. They're little.
Dude, that's awesome.
X-Men 97.
Speaking
I
of Michael
need
Bay, have you guys watched Ambulance yet?
No.
No, I hear
Dude.
that's good.
Watch Ambulance. Ambulance is actually really good. It's like the movie that could possibly bring Michael Bay back a little bit down and do something awesome again. Those are some cool claws, though.
I need $20, huh?
Why do people hate him so much? The Transformer movies aren't bad.
Out.
Eli,
Ow.
Eli, you lost
Papa,
points,
what-
buddy.
Make like Michael Jackson and beat it.
Oh my god.
No other reasons people hate him because he was a producer on those god awful Ninja Turtle movies.
You're
We
right,
forget
but
the second two Transformer movies. Oh, God.
here's the thing.
You are
though.
gonna have me.
I think it's
Look,
going to take more than
I
just
like
one.
those two Ninja Turtle movies. Okay.
Again,
I like
out.
the
thought
Bebop
they were
and
good.
Rocksteady one.
I like the second one. I like the second one more. It's going to take. I think Michael Bay needs more than just one. Okay, so like if somebody does something really good, that's great. But if they don't follow it up with something great, then it's like, oh, good, that was kind of a fluke, but like that's awesome what you did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I had to make an example, like Parachutes from Coldplay is one of the greatest albums of all time, but I think they've never released any album after that was anywhere near as good as Parachutes.
Actually, Viva La Vida is really good.
I like Viva La Vida. Parachutes is a no skip album. Parachutes is like a perfect album.
I agree, 100%.
So
I'm sure I heard it. I just can't place the name.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'll hear songs and you're like, oh, and then like, oh my god, that's Parachutes. Anyway, so depending, I think Michael Bay, if he follows up Ambulance with another one, I'll still be like, I need to see two more, and then I'll be like, okay, you're
100%.
good.
Yeah. It's going to take some
a
more.
fire truck.
But I need to see Ambulance, I need to see Fire Truck, and I need to see the UPS truck.
UPS, the movie.
It's great.
The only problem I had with those Ninja Turtles movies was that they were too big. Like,
yeah, they were just.
I think that appearance of Shredder has to be one of the most menacing we've seen. Just because of the sheer size of him.
Yeah, and Andrew, you're totally right. This conversation totally proves the point that remakes are their own thing and can bring, and that's, into a franchise, even if it sucks. And that's really true, because everyone has their things. I grew up with the 90s Ninja Turtles, right? With those live action movies. He grew up with the Michael Bay Ninja Turtle movies. So we all kind of have our own things.
Both be right?
What's that?
You can't both be right.
I mean, listen, sometimes I love the first Ninja Turtle movie with the passion, the 90s one, but
you can agree with me that the Michael Bay ones would destroy them physically.
Those claws are for Michael Bay's heart.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, anyways, I think that's our show, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for checking us out. It's September, y'all. It's almost fall time. We need to start talking about horror movies and stuff, which we'll be talking about in the coming weeks. We're going to be talking about video games, and also a very, very good and influential movie to me. I'm sure a lot of other people is turning 30 years old this year. It already has turned 30. Actually, I think it turns 30 in October. I'm talking about Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. 30 years old. We're going to be doing some really, really cool stuff with that coming up in the near future. So keep an eye out for that. And
I know
also,
the Lego set's coming out, right?
Yeah, eventually it will be coming out. But we got some big plans. I've been working on some things for the 30th anniversary of that. So we'll be doing that. Go check out pastramination.com. Go check it out on Facebook. Check it out on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Go check it out on Instagram,
Pinterest.
It
will forever be Twitter.
It will forever be Twitter. Check it out wherever you find your stuff for the latest new pop culture news and everything like that. I do have a Bottoms review coming out, to a written one coming out to Pastrami Nation very, very shortly. You guys have anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug real quick before we sign off? Christian?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
All right,
see.
cool.
What do I got? I got some. Go to Wendy's, guys. Go to Wendy's. Those little freaking DC guys are like, I mean, that's the kids' meal toy. This is like, look at this. This is like early 80s McDonald's Happy Meal quality. Like, it's that level of fun.
Those are the toys right now at Burger King?
Yeah. They come in a box like this. There's 3 of them per box, and then there's each row is numbered. And then the color circle on the bottom, green. That's cool. 3, which means you're getting green Wonder Woman, Cheetah, and what's the other one? Cyborg. But 2 of you guys that are listening to us are going to get one of them, I'm going to do my wheel. Haven't done a giveaway in a while, so I figure I had to do something,
Yeah.
And I basically collected all of those things in a matter of 5 days and 5 different Wendy's. Because and they're really cool. They're willing to pull the box out and let me go through, because once I explained to them the colored numbers, they're really cool about it. And just some stores did not get red number 4 or blue number 4, and then the other store, that's all they had. It's just a mismatch of shipments. But all the Wendy's, I thanked them because they were all really cool. If I can find my wheel, we will get this thing on the road. I cannot find my wheel.
While Jason's doing that, I don't know. We kind of have been. I don't know what do you guys think about doing, because I know we do the Lego thing. We do this, right, and then we do brick therapy. I think officially, I think we can probably say it now. I think we're doing once a month with the brick therapy.
Yeah.
Just about, but I don't know if you guys were interested in hearing if we have a dedicated action figure one too. That was kind of one of the reasons why I started doing the Pastrami Nation thing with you guys, and I'm kind of sad that we don't talk about it anymore. So I think that would be cool if we maybe just once a month, just update. Just because there's always so much action figure news.
No, that'd be a lot of fun. Let us know what you guys
Definitely.
think. Y'all watching and checking us out. Let us know. Would you guys want to see that? We'll definitely get that set up. We can make
When
that
you
happen.
guys watch it too.
Oh, they'll watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
People will
Also,
watch it, right?
what do you guys specifically collect? You guys kind of know what we all collect. We all collect a bunch of different things.
Mhm.
I don't collect
I just
anything.
found this.
I get and use stuff.
Brother.
Hey, ooh,
Mr. America Hulk Hogan.
that's cool.
Apparently there's a chase version, but this isn't it. And I scored who else did I score? I've been on a WWE thing as of late. I found the RVD.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a Walmart exclusive one.
That's fire.
He's my favorite wrestler. He's the first wrestler I ever met back at Comic-Con 2003. Super cool guy,
Yeah.
Just sat there and talked to us, and then they finally gave him the ultimate treatment,
Yeah.
So I've been on a wrestling craze. Right now, I've been in wrestling mode.
I've been kind of popping these in and out of the shot, but I've been collecting a lot of these guys. So this is kind of the perfect time to collect these. These are actually there's still a little bit of dirt on them, but don't worry. I know this looks scary, but it's not a
That
stranger.
student didn't pass, right?
Yeah, this so just a little backstory on this. How do I say this? My grandfather passed away in 2004, I want to say, but I was pretty young when it happened, and we didn't have any real plans to do anything with his remains. So maybe 2017, I got together with some cousins and my grandma, and we kind of discussed what we might do with it. So we contacted, I'm just kidding. I bought this on skillshop.com. This is $100. This is not my grandfather. I was just joking. But yeah, it's pretty cool. They do these are actually, I think, casted from actual skulls. So you can get a whole bunch from. This was an old man somewhere. And this, I think, is a woman. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can tell by the more thinner cheekbones.
Yeah. And then the soft brow ridge and the softer mandible. So pretty cool. Anyway. Yeah. Let's roll that. Who's our winners this week?
Let's see. Let's find out. Arturo, you get 1.
There you go.
And congrats, Arturo. Number 2 goes to Blanco. Congratulations.
Awesome. All right, guys. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll get some other things rolling pretty soon. Like I said, check out Pastrami Nation at all the socials. We'd love to see you guys comment, leave, whatever. Share the episodes too. Sharing the episodes helps a lot. There's also an audio version that comes out, I believe, a week after the live stream. So check that out. When that comes out, we'll share it, and then you guys can share it, and then we'll get big and make a lot of money and be able to quit our jobs.
And we can give you guys better prizes.
Yeah. So definitely. But anyways, all right, you guys.
You get 3 of those little toys.
Have a good night, and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.